Man is by nature a political animal, puisse politikon zoio. Let us understand that this is not a romantic statement, the observation that alone we are bored. Being by nature a citizen means that we instinctively know that without the collaboration only possible in a large city, we will not get away with living happily, considering the care, education, culture, our reason, and our will require for this purpose. To be noted that in the present context, I use the word city to mean largely what today we generally call a state. This citizen collaboration is never too broad. It is not even limited to the division of tasks, education, teaching, common research that are currently taking place in the singular city where we live. Just as this city is based on the communion of several burghs, it also needs to enter into communion with other cities, ideally with all of them. The fulfillment of man wants to count on the help of the men of everywhere and of always. It is this need which has called for the invention of money, which makes it possible to exchange goods and resources available here and now, or which were available yesterday here, for others that we find elsewhere, or that we will find later, and that we will need tomorrow. This need calls also for tradition, which makes it possible to count on skills and cultures developed yesterday and the day before yesterday by citizens from before, from here and elsewhere, and to make ours available to future citizens. It calls, too, for writing and printing, computer science and social networks, which make it possible to preserve and share with greater speed, security, and permanence the resources developed everywhere and throughout history, and to facilitate the lives of the fellow citizens of the future. All these increasingly effective means of collaboration remain nonetheless subject to the same risk, corruptio optimi pessima. The fantastic collaboration they empower can turn to the annihilation of culture rather than its enlargement. If these means are concentrated in the hands of people unenlightened about real human needs or ill-intentioned, we observe this at the birth of the modern mentality, which was much elaborated in the rejection of old achievements, and it is still observed today in the expansion of a so-called cancel culture, which, even more than ignoring the history of ancient culture, seeks to erase it and rewrite it. This unfortunate tendency stems from an arrogant and erroneous conception of man who wants him to be already complete as an individual rather than as a citizen, able to manage alone for his best life, preferring his personal good to the common good, and despising the contribution of others to the point of always being ready to start by himself from scratch. On the contrary, the communion which broadens collaboration between cities and likewise between families and between towns needs, in order not to self-destruct, to respect the competences of subordinate communities. The bourgeois community gains nothing by encroaching on the authority of parents in the education of children. The city must likewise respect the responsibilities of intermediary bodies, and the international community must not get drunk on its authority to the point of interfering in legislations that concern the prerogatives of particular cities. Whenever a higher authority acts ultra vires, it compromises the benefits that its larger community was expected to bring to human collaboration.